Inspections show dangerous conditions at one of Lansing's largest apartment complexes. But tonight, the buildings remain open and the city says it's working on a solution. It is our top story at 6. Thank you for joining us. I'm Sherry Jones.
And I'm Siobhan Klepfer. Today, more people who live at the Autumn Ridge apartments are sharing their stories of bad living conditions at the complex.
And this follows a report citing hundreds of code violations. Nate Salazar has been following this story for you today. He's here for you now with what current and former tenants have to say.
Sherry, Siobhan, people who live at Autumn Ridge tell me the conditions that they've been putting up with are, quote, unlivable. They say little is being done by the owners to bring these units up to compliance, and it's only a matter of time before someone gets hurt.
The likelihood that one of the units would just catch on fire and everything next to it would go is like extremely high. That's the reason I left.
Brian Douglas used to live at Autumn Ridge Apartments in Lansing, but he says the living conditions were why he didn't stick around.
I came home from work one day. I had a red tag on my window.
Douglas and other people who currently live there tell 6 News that the apartments are only getting worse.
From mold in the basement to, just the structure from the outside, animals living above you, just stuff that, doesn't make sense.
It mimics a 361-page report that WLNS received last week, detailing hundreds of code violations at Autumn Ridge. Safety concerns like black mold, missing smoke detectors, and fire extinguishers.
Right now, this is not a good place to live at all.
An organization that advocates for tenants in Lansing says this isn't their first rodeo with OPV Partners LLC, which owns the complex.
They think they can do whatever they want without accountability. Now they've kind of moved on to suing the city of Lansing for basically doing the most basic code enforcement.
6 News has reached out to both Autumn Ridge staff and OPV management for comment. No reply, which seems to be the case with tenants as well.
You can't call the office, and when you call on-call maintenance, they tell you to call the office and they never answer the phone.
Douglas says nearly a year later, he expected more.
It's definitely just deteriorating. They're definitely not doing anything to try to correct, you know what I mean? I mean, after a year, you would think that something would be changed, that, the buildings would be in better shape, that the roads would at least be starting to be repaired. Neglect, for lack of a better way of putting it.
Again, we have not heard back from OPV management. The city is trying to get involved and has red and pink tagged multiple units in the complex, only to get caught up in a lawsuit with OPV. More information on that can be found at WLNS.com. 6 News will continue to follow this developing story.